Okay, alright guys, welcome back. So what I'm going to do for this tutorial, I promised on the previous tutorial, we are trying to just try to make the layout to get the location right. We made an anchor tag, and beside we made some functionality that will allow to get the current position of the user. But we didn't make that callback function, okay? So to create that callback function is very simple. We already make a variable called c here. So let's make a variable called c, and let's try to develop that callback function. So this function takes one parameter as an argument, and the argument is going to be pose, which stands for the position. So whenever Google is monitoring you, it is using a coordinate system which is called latitude and longitude. Okay, so whenever there is a place that you stay, that place can be expressed in terms of latitude and longitude. So you pass a function pose for this function, right? So you are going to get the latitude and the longitude. So these things comes from something which is called a coordinate. So in this JavaScript API, you call these things chords, and there are two types of chords. The first one is called latitude, and the other chord is called longitude. So you are going to pass this thing on the position. So you are going to have pause here and also pause here. Okay, so the other thing is going to be assigning a variable for this latitude and longitude. So let's try to create a variable called lat, which stands for latitude, and the other variable called long. But since long is a reserved word in a PHP, let me try to use another name. Let's call this thing A, for instance, long A, which stands for the longitude. So what we are going to do, we are going to combine this latitude and longitude. Whenever you are using a combination of latitude and longitude in Google, you are going to use comma. That will separate the latitude from the longitude. So let's have a variable called chords, which is going to be lati, which stands for the latitude, and let's have comma in between, and let's have the longitude, long A. Yeah, with that being said, the only thing that remaining is passing this longitude and latitude to this place only. So there is a built-in function in JavaScript which is called set attribute. Just if you have like an anchor, you can set an attribute for a source, you can use for the ID, you can do anything that you want. But the first things first, we have to get the iframe first. So we give it an ID called Google here. So to get this value, what I'm going to do, first I'm going to use the document where I'm going to fetch the HTML file, and then what I'm going to say, I'm going to say what? Get element by ID. Get element by ID, and I'm going to pass Google here. So I get the element here. So what will be the next step is going to be setting an attribute. So I'm going to use set attribute. So that what is that particular attribute that I want to edit is going to be the source. So I'm going to use src. So instead of this thing being a default, rather than making these maps google.co.uk, what I'm going to pass the longitude and the latitude, or the coordinate. So to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use https maps.google.co.uk. So instead of like passing a default value, I'm going to use q, which stands for a coordinate, which will be the latitude and the longitude. Just don't forget the question mark here. So what I'm going to pass these chords which have the latitude and the longitude value for me. So I'm going to make equals to and plus plus, which is going to be chords. You can have also other properties. So the other properties could be the zooming option. If you want to zoom in your map, you can use a variable called z, and let me make the zoom to be 60, and there is also another attribute like output if you want to embed this thing, and you can make output to be embed. So let me have a semicolon finally. Embed. So with that being said, this is the only thing that you need to get your location in a Google map using HTML5 API. Okay, so if we are having any error, let's try to inspect this thing. Let's go to the console, and I guess this thing is getting fine. And it's asking me like, would you like to share your location with this site? Because I'm returning false here, that's why it's asking me by default. So let me allow this thing also. Share location. So it is making some process here, so it will give me my exact location. So I am in 7 degrees 32 minutes 45, something like that. So this will be my current position here. So I guess this thing have helped you guys. You can use GPS or anything that you want to work on. So maybe if we have a time, I'm going to do more tutorials. So till we meet on the next tutorial, keep on liking, keep on subscribing, keep on sharing my videos with your friend. Peace and love. Ciao.